So thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Maciej Kafel. I'm Senior Architect at Capgemini. I'm supporting the Connected Employee Experience portfolio, and I'm leading the Connected Office stream. So today I have this pleasure to spend with you these few minutes and talk about, modern and smart offices. Today I've got Romano from Platronics with me. Romano will tell you more about biophilia and biophilic environments, which are considered to be a part of Connected Office, and you will see why. And in 2 months on this office, you will hear why, because we are installing this. So Romano, thank you very much for joining us today, and we will talk about the biophilic environments as well. Very good. I will just recap what Stuart told us during his session, like a session, plenary session, which was about the office of the past, which for some of us is still office of the current office that we are using, but in the past everything was gray. We had a lot of cubicles. It was not inspiring. We had a lot of cables in the conference, which is the case still very often. And a few years back, companies decided, listen, we need to make it better. We need to improve situation. Let's add more colors. Let's add more social collaboration zones. Let's improve the collaboration efforts. Let's put really nice furniture. So we have covered maybe the layout and design of the office spaces, which is a very good start. And this is also something that is worth to do, no doubts about this. But when we are asking whether your modern office in terms of design and layout is smart, very often the answer is not obvious. Very often our customers are saying, listen, we still are wasting few minutes to connect to the conference room. If this is just 5 minutes, if you multiply it by number of people in the room and number of meetings in an organization, this is a huge productivity loss. We cannot find the free rooms. Rooms that were supposed to be free or booked, they are free, while the system will say there are no available rooms. So we need to do in general with something with conference. We don't have enough data. We don't have enough telemetry to be able to answer, I would say, business questions. It's like, do we have enough conference rooms? Do we have enough space? If we are planning to grow, can we accommodate 20% more people? So we don't have this kind of data. So we need to be able to answer business questions with the data gathered by the sensors, and transform it into actually business intelligence. Very often, well, in general, the overall Connected Employee Experience portfolio is all about making sure that people will create experience that people like to join and they don't want to leave. This is a way to attract and keep top talents. And this is very important. And to make it work, you need to invite few teams in the organization. So IT is one of them, of course, but we need to also talk with HR, with real estate, with marketing or employer branding. Because if you are serious about this, if you will invest your money to improve the employee experience, you need to let people know that you will take care of them. So let's put this into the job post. That's why we are during workshops. For some workshops, we are inviting all of these different stakeholders. And very often, when we are doing it, and we are in the same room, very often they don't know who is from their own company and who is from Capgemini, because very often they are not talking to each other. This is an opportunity also to do something about this, to get benefits on different levels. And of course, we can talk about fancy stuff like indoor navigation, smart conference rooms, and so on. But if Wi-Fi is not working, nobody will even care. So we can innovate, but first we need to fix the basics. So this is very important. In regards to our answer to these challenges, we created this middle part of the Connected Employee Experience portfolio, Connected Office, which is helping customers to interconnect with the surroundings, easily leverage the office capabilities, no matter what kind of device they are using, no matter what kind of compute model they are using. So it's all about making sure that the office will be smart. These are the Connected Office streams that we have recognized. So if you will be here on Wednesday, so we'll talk about this. If you like to do something in the smart office area. So these are the topics that we should discuss and select which are important for you, for example, to start with. So these are the elements that can create the connected office. You can select 5 of them and you will say, this is our connected office experience. You may select more of them. and so on. So they are divided into a few groups. Some obvious things like resource booking, like room booking, desk booking, panels like this one. You can book, even the pool cars. You can even book, different resources, beamers, and so on. Indoor navigation is another example, so we can get, turn-by-turn navigation to any location in the office space, or we can find our colleagues if they will share location with us. Many other things like wireless charging capabilities, which is just growing. So you have this kind of, smart wireless charger. We'll show you the demo in a moment that can trigger an event. So you just put your phone and it will do everything. So just one thing, and it will book a room for you and start, for example, Skype for business call or WebEx call or Zoom call. Smart building capabilities. So this is core stuff, which is all about making sure that the building itself is smart. So we're talking about utilization of the energy. We're talking here about sensors that can measure and gather more telemetry for us if this is required. There are smart spaces where we've got, smart conf rooms. So how to transform our rooms into smart ones. What does it mean to have smart conf room? What are the different options for different size of the rooms? Yeah? Smart desk experience, yes?
No, I was just thinking about that smart desk experience is something I'm really interested in.
Okay.
Discussing the fact that we didn't spend yet the time of thinking of the desk itself.
Yes. So there are customers asking, listen, should I have 2 monitors or 1? Or should I have the docking station? Which one? If I've got, thin client users, how can I create like unified desk experience, for example, yeah? So these are the topics that we are discussing. What kind of even headset put on this, on these desks? So these are one of the areas when we are helping customers to select and to actually create the strategy. This is your strategy. We are just, facilitating it. The other part is remote office experience. People are asking, what should we give people to work at home efficiently? Yeah? And so we are covering all of these spaces in the office, but there is one which is important. That's why Romano is here, which is open space. Yeah? Open space is not working. It's disturbing people, and Biophilic environment is helping with the open space. Romano will tell about this in a moment. There are other things, chatbots that can be a part of the story. You can have the IT vending, smart lockers as well, which are improving on-site services and transforming the services that we can provide to the users in tech bars, for example. Yeah, when you are introducing this genius bar type of story for, it can be room like this, they will receive totally different type of service. There's one thing that's also important, the connected office app, because if you will select few of these, like maybe resource booking, indoor navigation, enterprise wireless charging, and for example, chatbots, you may end up having 5 different apps on your smartphone. Yeah? This is not the way to go. You've got too many apps on the smartphone. The connected office app is integrating all of them into one app with the capabilities that you will need. So this is like seriously simple message. It's driving adoption. And actually, I will show you this app in a moment. If you add a few additional features, it will not be connected office app, it will be connected employee app, which will guide you from the very first day of your work with interactive onboarding guide, will tell you where to go, where is your manager, where is your, I would say, trainings and so on. Moving forward, they can do much more. And of course, this is all supported by adoption change management, because if you are entering smart conf room and there is a piece of paper how to use it, it's not smart, it's failure. So we need to do it in the right way. And that's why we are using the same frameworks as for chatbots. So we've got the one framework for all of the elements of connected employee experience. That's why this first time office experience will be also driven by adoption change management and digital adoption initiatives. Very good. In that space, we are helping customers on different phases. So the first phase is to define what do you want to achieve. Which building blocks will make sense? What are the priorities? What's behind the scenes, so we can select, the right elements for you. The second is to do POC environment, proof of concept, transform one floor maybe into smart one, few conf rooms and so on. And the third one, and create the app, because we will know which components to connect. And the third one is to actually deploy broadly within the organization, so all buildings or the whole location, for example, and so on. So there are 3 different elements. This is purely agile framework, so you can select the building blocks. Usually within one sprint, which will last 2 weeks, we can cover 2 to 4 topics, so building blocks. And you can immediately move to the next phase, so the POC and to broad deployment, or extend the scope and select additional building blocks. Yeah. So if you will select like 6 building blocks, we'll do the 2 or 3 sprints, and next move to the next part. We are working many partners, so we will get the best solutions from the market based on our knowledge. Depending on your requirements, we can select the cloud-based solutions or on-prem. We'll taking care about security to make sure that this will be compliant with your security policies. So out of these, many logos, we can help to select the right components, plus integrate with something that you've got already in place. Yeah? So behind the scenes, there's Exchange, Office 365, G Suite, whatever you want, it can be also integrated. So there is one specific special element that we'd like to talk about today, which is Biophilic environment. So this is a part of smart spaces, and this is a solution that Plantronics developed for open spaces. It will be here installed in 2 months. We were like in Amsterdam, so Romano will tell you about this. But I really admire this gentleman, because talking about this is really hard. Hearing this and experiencing it, it's really easy. But Roman, over to you if you introduce the idea.
Okay. I'll try in 7.5 minutes now. Please do. Well, it's very hard. Well, welcome you all. The theme is actually, well, you can say it's difficult. I can make a very long story out of it. Biophilic or biophilia actually itself is nothing else than the science. How does the human being react to nature? Everything out in nature. The reason why we do that is that a lot of people found out, researchers found out that we are almost 10, 12, 15 hours a day somewhere in a closed room. A third of our lives we spend in an office, which is closed, so there is no nature exposed. And it's not just enough to have a plant in a corner where you put some water inside and you see a little green and so on. And actually why we came to like that biophilic research is a very easy thing. Today, let's say almost everybody, every new building which is created to use as an office will have a big open office space. The reason is it's not a trend, it's not a mode, it's not chic, it's real estate pricing that up. That means the space per worker will be less and is less. And of course, an open office guarantees that collaboration works on a totally different way. In the old days, the closed office or the cubicles where you are visually and kind of acoustically totally diversified to somebody else, that's not collaborative, right? So they wanted to open up. The problem is now everybody thought, wow, that is great. We can see each other. I'm gonna have a meeting with him and her. Oh, no problem. I scream over or I run over. We just huddle on the corner and we have our meeting. We're really collaborative. It's all theoretically fine. But the biggest issue is that people in the office got distracted. Why? 50% of the employee. You can also look over there if you want. Just turn around a little bit.
No, but then we do not see you.
We
can see nobody. We see the presentation there.
Yeah, I can just not use the laser point. But hey,
okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I can stay here. 53% of the employees are disturbed by others when they try to focus. Let's say, if we look at Capgemini, what kind of workers do we have? We don't have people on an assembly line. We have knowledge workers, right? If they cannot focus, they will not be productive, they will not be creative, they will be distracted, okay? Another 70% is absolutely dissatisfied with the noise levels in their office. The reason is an open office is like a shopping mall, right? In a shopping mall, you would never sit down and work, right? You better go to Starbucks in that corner where it's quiet, some maybe background music if you like or not, but depending, you look for a space where you can kind of relax. Because what will happen, it takes up to 23 minutes when you got distracted by somebody. And distraction is a fact. We needed first to understand where it comes from. This can be a distraction if I'm in an office where it's totally quiet. I mean, no sound, nobody is talking. And if you enter this office, you immediately, I have to talk very low because I don't want to disturb anybody. You can't work that. It's too quiet. And you will not have people inside there or whatever. It's impossible. You can't even have your phone ring because you would distract 60 people around. So we found out that the biggest factor of distraction is the voice of the human being, and there's a reason for it. which also has to do with biophilia or with the human being. It's we can close our ears. If you do that, you won't see me anymore, but try to close your ears. You can't. And not only that, the problem is if you're in an open office, if you understand what people are saying, you will be distracted. If it's for you just a babble, like noise, like and you don't understand a word, your ear picks up a babble, but your brain will not be, there was a word I heard, and it does not depend on any other language what it is, if it's the same as you are used to. There will just be one word and your brain will start to pick up and you're distracted. You can't focus anymore. So taking all these issues into account, and this is only the, let's say, psychological part of it, the physiological part is totally different. People in an open office, they usually have very, very higher blood pressure, they have a big, higher heart rate. EEG shows that their brain is totally distracted between both brain halves and so on and so on. So it's not a nice place to work. And what is the biggest asset of a company? You want them to be innovative, you want them to be productive, to be creative, to even be relaxed. Can that be? Yes, because when you are relaxed, you fill your batteries, you have the better ideas, right? So that's what we actually want. And so our biophilic part in our habitat soundscaping system actually is, it enhances cognitive functionality, and we use water as the sound to spread all over the office with loudspeakers. We also have sensors. You find here these red small things, these are distraction sensors. The blue circles, these are loudspeakers. What we do is we put the sound of water in the office. The reason is I need to make sure you don't understand what somebody like in 5-6 meters away from you is saying. You can hear he's talking, but you should not understand what he says. Usually in an open office without such a system, you would be able to understand somebody clearly over 20 meters, 25 meters. It all has to come together with acoustics, but we don't have the time to explain that in detail. But with that audio part, we also have a visual part. You see we have some LCD screens, one in the ceiling, one on the wall. We call it either a digital skylight or digital window. That is themes, originally recorded themes. And the sound of the water you see on these themes, you will also hear over the loudspeakers, right? So we are now producing a new theme, which will be an ocean wave, like really on an ocean. So we can actually get this ocean wave around the whole office. And because we have those sensors, they will understand where people are talking or even talking louder. In these areas where the people are talking, we will maintain actually the regular sound, but around these people we will increase the level of the water to make the voices less intelligible for the people around them. And that's how we do the soundscaping, but with a biophilic approach, because we bring nature into the office. And we all found out, and not only us, psychologists did, we have a very tough cognitive functionality and assimilation with water. We were born. We grow up the first 9 months in water, in liquid. So the human being has a very good adoption to water, and that's actually what we do with our sound system. And that brings people really to relax. So there are values I can show you on another PowerPoint because I'm running out of time again. But what we really do is we bring the level of well-being to every employee without any kind of pushing him or telling him you have to achieve in that time and whatever. People feel relaxed. Even him and his boss, they were in our offices where we have that system installed near Amsterdam. And of course they could not believe what I told them before on the phone, because it's very hard.
You can see all these slides. It's really a good story. But next, you go to the open space, and the first you say there's no it's the regular open space. Yeah? So I challenged Roman. I said, listen, turn this off. Yeah? And he turned this off, and I immediately knew that it was it's solved. Yeah? Because immediately you are able to hear this stressful, quietness of open space, I would say.
Or loud voice.
Or loud voices that will disrupt. Somebody will say a name, can be your name, for example, yeah? But they are talking about somebody else, and you are already distracted. You will need 20 minutes to come back to be focused again. So that's why we decided to introduce it here. So it will be installed in 2 months. In here, just to improve our employee experience, and also present this as a part of the a living floor because the whole floor is like living lab right now. Yeah. So we've got different hot desks. We've got different sensors that will be installed right now. We will have vending machine. We'll show you in a moment. A lot of things are already here. So this is how we can gather also feedback, show you this in action, and that's why we decided to also work with Plantronics to introduce it for our employees. So it's living labs, our people.
Just one last thing I want to say is if you value that your employees are your biggest asset for your company, then you should actually try to do something for their well-being. We found out on our own with Plantronics and the customers who already bought into our systems that the increase of relaxation factor, of creative thinking, of productivity, if you can measure on a knowledge worker, it all increased, and it all increased 2 digits, and really high digits. And we have people who spend more time in our offices than they want to spend at home. And this is no joke. It's because we brought nature back, and now the people feel relaxed.
Romano,
Yeah.
what is the size, roughly the size of the investment for that? And if you have to compare this investment compared to other investment to improve the physical workplace, what is the priority of this type of initiative versus removing cables and you see, at what point in time do you decide to go and invest in this type of, which level of maturity do you need to have in your environment?
This is hard to answer, but I know why you're asking it. Because it all comes back that we somehow need to budget it. We need to have an understanding of how much do we talk. I can only tell you when you are thinking, or your customers or whoever you're dealing with are thinking of going into an office space environment which is open, when you want to make changes or you want to just have something new or whatever, you need to take a lot of things into account before you even start talking about this. The biggest issue in every open office space is acoustics. We are only part of acoustics. We need to think about absorption. This is just taking too much time now in that session. I'm absolutely happy to answer outside and give you real detail. But
don't worry, because
to give you an idea,
we'll spend more time tomorrow.
we also don't talk about something like 200 euros a square meter. But if I can only make that one sense of thing, if you need to change your mindset and the way of thinking to think about that, because if you think it's an expenditure, you have to spend money for something, for a waterfall and some loudspeakers, then it's the wrong way of thinking. If you see it as an investment in the growth and the well-being of your whole company, because you do it for your biggest asset, which is your employers, then it will be an investment for 10, 15, 20 years. It will not be just, okay, I have to spend 100,000 euros for what? You know?
Then you need to get your figures on
Yes.
productivity improvement, well-being.
Absolutely.
So we've got few numbers, like you've got significant studies, how it's improving story. And actually we are helping, because the key thing is to recognize which building blocks you like to focus on and what is the priority. Like we can engage partners, we are working with you just to make sure that this will be delivered and it will deliver tangible results. So Romano also, like with other partners, with like room panel, if you've got the simple feature, like, it will cancel your meeting if somebody will not show up within first 10 minutes, it's adding 20-30% rooms into the pool. Just a simple feature, yeah? So these kind of numbers, Romano also have for Biophilic environments. So you can, this is, at the end, this is your priorities, but we can help to make a decision, yeah? So, very good. Conscious of time, thank you very much. And Romano is with us here, like the stand of Plantronics. So if you'd like to learn more, you can spend more time, because Romano will leave us today, so he will not be on Wednesday. But just few demos, just a quick demos to see this in action. For example, I would like to just, simple story. We are going to the office space. We would like to use the app just to book a desk and a room for us. So this is the introduction of the Connected Office app. I told you that there are many features that we can introduce. I will show you a few of them, but they can be like wide range of the capabilities that we can create. This particular app will give you ability to book a room, book a desk, access ServiceNow or BMC Remedy, whatever you're using. It will have maps with indoor navigation. It will allow you to check in and check out using wireless chargers. So you just put your phone on charger, will check you in and do something. And it can introduce company news, yeah? So you can add more of these kind of capabilities, like, you can report IT faults, you can add ability to book a pool car or inform people about some event that's happening in the office. It can be seriously connected employee app, not just connected office. I will show you a few things that we are working on with augmented reality. So like I would like to book a space, like a desk, maybe, you know, for today, for half of the floor. You know, we can select the full day, and within seconds you will be able to see what are the floors available. You can have multiple locations here. So if this is like London, you will have other desks available. If this is Bangkok, you have other desks available. The same story with the rooms. Yeah. So I've got the I will need the room for like 1 hour in Krakow. These are the rooms available. I can book it. It will synchronize with Exchange if you are using Exchange, or with Office 365 or G Suite. It doesn't matter. Just few simple clicks, and you can book it. When you will be arriving to the office, the map can, you know, spot where you are. So this is the map we created for Seawin, yeah, this floor, and you can see different sessions here. So let's imagine I book the room or a desk, and I will just find this on the map. It would give me turn-by-turn navigation. We've got beacons here, cheap devices that will allow us to enable this blue dot, and you will know where to go. Yeah. So it will follow you like Google Maps. Yeah. Indoor navigation. Plus, you can see here your colleagues. If I will share my location with you, when you are in the office, I can find you. You can always stop sharing. It's totally opt-in. And you can also track assets. Yeah? So you've got the smart, I would say, collaboration device, touch screen, and it can move in the office. You can also track it because it will have the asset tag, for example. Yeah? So we are working here with Aruba about this. So just few capabilities. We can also have like corporate news. We can add more capabilities. We've got here the integration with ServiceNow, and trust me, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So it can be simple integration with single sign-on. You'll get access to responsive, you know, website of ServiceNow or BMC Remedy. You've got all the capabilities in one app. So few examples, of course, notifications, everything that you can see to the right can be adjusted, and these are just few modules. The rest is here. Actually, we are deploying it for 200,000 people at our organization right now. Because there is a need for it. Okay, good. So this is like the app. You have seen the different capabilities. We'll cover them on Wednesday as well. We can talk about this. The next part is the conf room. And the conf room is the interesting part. We can book room in many different ways. We can book, so we can book room in many different ways. But before I will book a room, when I'm arriving to the office, I know where to go, but I've got a hot desk. I just switch to another phone with Excel that is delivered through Citrix, another example. And you've got this, you know, device here, this hot desk. It can be look like this. One screen, you can have dual screens. All depends what are your priorities. You can have some such device behind the scenes. You will not even see it. So I got the session running on a device. Citrix allowing us to run any session on any device. All I need to do to connect to this desk is just to scan this QR code, or put my phone on this device, and within seconds my session will be reconnected. Yeah? So I can put it here. I can use keyboard and a mouse. I don't need any other device, and this is how I can work. Yeah? And this device is really good one because, you know, it can have a beacon. If you will be 2 meters away or 3 meters away, it will close the session, or you can swipe like this, and this will also go away from here, you know, and it will be still with your phone. You can go some other place and connect. And this can also allow you to cast from other devices. So from Mac, from Windows, you can also cast and use it as a wireless screen. So this is what you can achieve with this kind of technology. It can be a part of hot desks. Right now, if you would like to, present, you know, the capabilities here about the panels, you can. I'm going and I would like to have the meeting with my team. I will need a room. Yeah? I will need a room. So if I will need a room, I can click on the panel. I can add event. I can use the map to book any other rooms in the same area. I can also report an issue with the room. But also what we are working on is we can also use the wireless charger. So while I can click add event here and find and book a slot, I can do the same by just putting phone on the charger that will be installed on the table in the conf room. Yeah? So within seconds, you will see that something was changed. So first of all, the color of the light was changed. This will be booked in the exchange in a moment, and you also have the room which is ready for you. Yeah. So I've got the plantronic system here, which is based on this unit. I can click here, like just one click, and I'm already calling my friend. This is his PC. He's at home. few seconds it will establish a session. One click, and everything was configured. I can wirelessly cast to this device, share my screen, and so on and so on. An example of the smart conference technology: one-click access. This is how it should look like. There are many options, available. We are selecting the right ones for the size of the room. Yeah. So this is another example. As you can see, it was booked here, and also you can use, even Alexa. So when I've done this ad hoc meeting, I confirmed the data with my team. It was really easy. When I'm leaving, I just can take a phone out of the charger, and it will restore the original setup, for example. Yeah, so it will turn off. They will change the color of the lights, and I can also. But this is just another way how to trigger things. I can also use Alexa. So Alexa, ask team to end this meeting.
Sorry, I cannot end the meeting. If the problem remains, contact your IT support.
Very good, demo mode. So anyway, Alexa can also book a meeting, book appointment with technician. Something is wrong. She can start the meeting. So you can use the charger, you can use panel, you can use smartphone. As I will show you this in a second, because for smaller rooms, it doesn't make sense to actually, install such panel. Maybe, yeah. For small rooms, maybe it's too expensive. Yeah? So we are working on additional capabilities like using augmented reality. So instead of putting the panel there, you put the phone with the capability to book this space, check in, turn on screens or audio video equipment. So for example, I will click to turn off the screens, and it will turn off the screens, but it can start Skype for Business automatically, because the app will know what is in your calendar, and the QR code, which is very cheap, because you will just put this on the desk. That's all you need to do. And this will, thanks to additional feature of the app, will create the virtual dashboard. Yeah, it's really cheap, inexpensive, and smart solution that will allow you to control your room, and you can adapt this to any other space. Yeah, so this is really interesting topic, which can be added to the app.
And maybe just is it secure from a security point of view?
Yeah.
We have some resistance from the security team saying, yeah, that can be hacked, can be.
Yes.
It's an entry point into the system.
Yes. So there are multiple layers of security around this. In terms of IoT security, because you can control only what you got in the office environment, and you want to control in that space. Yeah, maybe there will be just one feature that will allow you to control this, the audio video equipment and connect to the Skype, for example, or the Zoom or whatever you are using. In here, of course, the app will authenticate you using single sign-on, so like multi-factor authentication and so on and so on. So there is like good discussion about security that we can handle as well when we are considering such deployments. Yeah. So this will be according to your security policy, no doubts about this. Yeah? Okay, good. Maybe just one last thing to show you, what can happen if the visitors are visiting you. So just take a look here. You've got the panel downstairs at the reception desk. You would like people to check in. So I will check in as a guest. Let me just do it right now. I'll put my private email address. It will recognize me that I was already here. So it will fill out the form for me. I'm here to visit maybe myself. It will take a picture, so I can define which fields are important, whether they would like to take a picture or not. I can sign NDA, and that's it. What just happened, our host was notified that somebody is waiting. So the first thing. The second thing, which will happen on this form, is that I will receive the SMS with the information how to log in into the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi access will automatically provision, and the details were sent automatically to the TV, to the smartphone or to email address. You can define whether you will use SMS or you will use the email or both. Yeah. So this is how you can provision and simplify visitor and guest experience, which is also a part of Connected Office. So multiple. This one, the one from the previous session, it will arrive within next moment. But this is the SMS that you will receive. Connected guest Wi-Fi network. This is your username. This is your password. It will be valid for a day. Yeah. So these are the options that we've got. Just 3 simple demos, and that covered the Connected Office experience, which is Connected Office app, smart conf rooms. There are multiple other options like the flight boards. So we are exiting the elevators. You can see which spaces are available on the whole floor. Different things with the conf rooms, AV integration, augmented reality, panels like this one. Audio is important, video as well, and guest experience, which is connecting security with a really seamless experience from guest point of view. In here we are introducing, we're just waiting for like IT vending machine. We can talk about this tomorrow. Really good ROI, really good TCO. It's improving the, it is improving the, I would say, on-site services. A lot of sensors. We're introducing the soundscaping with the waterfall and many others. So we are changing this floor, testing new solutions all the time. Some benefits, we'll cover others, you know, maybe tomorrow or on Wednesday. But you know, thanks to Wi-Fi only and interesting software, you can get a lot of information about utilization of your office space. So you don't need to invest a lot of money into the sensors. If you've got Wi-Fi, we can leverage this data to provide you information. So for example, you can reduce some space, or you will know that you can accommodate more just based on this. Really, really interesting story, cost effective. And as Romano mentioned, for example, Habitat, soundscaping can, you know, improve creativity and productivity. There are numbers and studies on this, so that we can build a business case based on this kind of research. So a lot of options. Huge pleasure for us to have you here today. We've got the Plantronic stand. You can see some of the setups for hot desks. We got also interesting session from our other partner, Aruba, which is covering more about this indoor navigation, how this is all working. And I really like to see your face again, because you are coming back. That's good. Always come back. There will be always something new. And you will come back on Wednesday, but moving forward, there will be more and more things that we're adding here.